a lot of A names to
Adam's
kind of
test
categorize them so that in your mind they file
for
properly and you can produce
thoracic
the correct
curvature.
test that you want to do. Okay, so Adam's test, so come on in the middle here and face down towards this way. And ideally what we would do is have them in a gown so that we could see the actual contours of the spine without any clothing. For lab purposes, you can just say I would have the spine exposed. So I'm going to make you actually bring it down and do all that. So you're going to look at the contours of the spine as they're standing. So look for any rotations, look for any lateral bends of the spine while they're just standing here. And then I'd like you to put your hands together like this. And then you're going to dive down towards your toes and come on back up. So as she dives down, I'm going to look at what's happening with the contours of her spine and come on back up. And notice any change of the lateral bends or curves of the spine. Then we're also going to look from the front for the same thing. So I'll have you again put your arms together and really tuck your chin this time and dive down. And we're going to look at what happens to the spine and come on back up. And noticing any change of those contours of the spine. So if you notice curves as they're standing in the upright position and then as they bend forward and come back up, they change. Or potentially what you might notice is this brings out rotations or curves of the spine as they bend down and come back up, then that is suggesting a functional scoliosis. So we're looking at functional curves if it's changing. If you notice a curve in the spine and it stays the same as they bend down and come back up, then that will be a structural scoliosis. So that's going to be something more permanently in there versus a functional one, which comes out based on movement and muscle imbalances. So that is our Adams test looking for scoliosis. So that can be a test for structural versus functional scoliosis. It's also a good screening test to pick out scoliosis. So a lot of times you'll notice in particular rotational curves, and that's why we're having the hands together, is that will really bring out any of that rib humping, things like that. So if you don't have them do this, then they might compensate and you might not notice that their spine is actually contoured. And then side bending is similar, except it's just like the name would suggest. You're going to look at the curves of the spine, and then I'd like you to bend at the waist down to the left side. Yeah, just like that, and then bend to the other side. Okay, good. So we're looking for, do those contours change when they bend side to side, or do they stay the same? If they change, then it will be functional, and if they don't change, then it will be structural for curves of the spine. And then our last one that we'll do for structural change, structural versus functional, is the prone extension. So this would be lie prone, lie face down. And this would usually be done on someone who has more of a pronounced hyperkyphosis to see if that hyperkyphosis is actually kind of fused in there or if it's a functional curve. And so what I want you to do is put your hands on your low back, just like that, and then lift up from your upper back.
No, from my
Yeah, from the upper back. Good, perfect. And then you can relax. And so we're noticing that when she lifts up, that upper back flattens out. So she gets more of a concavity as she comes up, so that kyphosis reduces, and that's a functional